Hey there, I'm Lisa, and for those of you who are new to our channel, we welcome you. For those who are coming back, we welcome you back. So yesterday, if you saw my garden tour, I did a sunset garden tour. I got a ton of beautiful fresh tomatoes, and I got a lot of cherry tomatoes, just a ton of cherry and grape tomatoes. And so I am going to make the delicious baked feta pasta. And if you haven't made this yet, you have to try it. It is so good and so easy. It just takes a few ingredients to pull it together. So I'm particularly excited about doing this recipe today because I have so many ingredients from my own garden. The tomatoes are from my garden, the garlic's from my garden, the peppers from my garden, and the onion is from my garden. So you're just gonna need tomatoes. You can use cherry tomatoes, you can use grape tomatoes. I've got this lovely combination of all different kinds. You want a great quality olive oil. I like to put a lot of extra vegetables in mine. So I'm adding some mushrooms. And then I'm gonna add peppers. I'm using my own garlic and my own onion. And I still think it's so wild that I grew my own onion and garlic, but here they are. We'll absolutely be doing this from now on because it was so incredibly easy. And then the next thing you need a really good quality feta, or you could use a goat cheese. Really any soft cheese that'll melt will work for this recipe. I've got my oven preheated to 325 and I'm putting my tomatoes in my dish, and then I'm gonna get my other vegetables chopped up. Top of my pepper can go to the chickens. Peppers is something that as a kid I didn't like, or I thought I didn't like, but now that I grow my own peppers, I love them. How just a little bit of pepper can add such depth to a dish. So I'm gonna add in our peppers. Mushrooms. That's probably about 4 or 5 big mushrooms chopped. Charlie didn't used to like onions, and neither did my son CJ, and now that we grow them ourselves, they're always asking for them to be cut up on the side to go into dishes, things like tacos and chili. Now they're always wanting onion. And now we're gonna add our onions in. The next thing that I wanna do is I wanna push all of this to the side, all our veggies to the side, because I am making a spot in the center for the feta or the goat cheese, whatever you're going to use. Whenever I make this, I make sure that I am getting the feta in brine. I don't want to use that crumbled feta. The feta in brine is just going to work much better for this recipe. The crumbled feta is going to be too dried out. So I'm just going to take my chunk of feta and I'm gonna put it right in the center of all of those gorgeous garden fresh vegetables that we just put in here. And next I'm gonna chop up 2 good-sized garlic cloves from our homegrown garlic. I'm just gonna sprinkle this garlic right over the top of that feta and the vegetables. And then I like to hit this with a seasoning blend, a dried seasoning blend. I'm gonna put some fresh basil on it when it's done, but I really like this citrusy garlic seasoning blend. If you saw the Mediterranean diet shopping haul that I did recently at Trader Joe's, I picked this up and I love it. It's got some really great Mediterranean flavors in there, like oregano and citrus and marjoram. It's just really delicious on this dish. And it's also super low in sodium. It's only 2% salt, which I love also. So I don't even need to add any more salt to this dish because that's gonna be perfect. Between this and the feta, definitely don't wanna add any more salt. If you don't have the seasoning that I'm showing here, you could use any kind of Italian or Greek blend seasoning that you like, or any combination of herbs that you like or fresh herbs. All right, and the last thing that we are gonna do before this goes into the oven is olive oil. And you want to put a good amount of olive oil, probably about a little under a half cup, a quarter to a half a cup, because that is what's gonna make that lovely sauce with all of these tomatoes and vegetables. All right, and into the 325 degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes. Here's a little sneak peek as to how it's coming along. It is looking delicious. While our baked feta is cooking, I am getting some water boiling for our pasta. I am using brown rice pasta because this is what I made it with last time and I really, really liked it. If you saw my Mediterranean shopping haul at Costco, you saw me pick these up. This is one of my favorite pastas and it's gluten-free. Okay, it is all done and it is nice and bubbly. Okay, this is the most satisfying part of making this whole dish. It is so much fun to swirl the beautifully baked feta into these veggies. Super, super fun. It's so beautiful how it happens. It makes this delicious sauce. So I'm just digging right into this feta and breaking it apart. You can see all that olive oil. And I'm just swirling it around and breaking up these tomatoes. You can leave some of the tomatoes whole if you want to. I tend to break them all up. Now we're gonna add in our brown rice pasta. Gotta love that steaming up the camera. And stirring that delicious sauce right into that pasta. This is so good. I wish you could smell this. Well, you are gonna smell it because you're gonna go make this yourself, right? Now that you've seen how easy it is to make. And you can use pasta, you can use quinoa. This would even make like a really good dip for bread. You can do all kinds of things with this. See, now I know you were thinking that it looked like that was too much olive oil, but once you get this all in with the pasta, it just makes this really beautiful sauce. It's so delicious. So now I'm out here in my little herb cocktail garden and I am grabbing some fresh basil because this needs some fresh basil. All right, we're gonna get it plated up here. I'm the only one home right now, so I'm just gonna do a little serving for myself. Get that fresh basil on top. Beautiful. So if you haven't tried baked feta pasta yet, I encourage you to do so. You saw how very easy it is to make. It's a great way to use fresh ingredients coming out of the garden. It would be really good too. You could do it as a side dish. You could put some protein or some seafood with it, put it with both chicken and fish, and it's been absolutely delicious. Just a super easy recipe to have on hand and delicious. So I'm going in and I'm gonna give it a try. It's so good, so fresh. Those flavors just come together so well. Please let me know if you try this recipe because I know you're gonna love it.